He listened to the front door close behind him as he entered the family room. The television, resting on a stand in the corner of the room, blared at everyone in sight. Here's the church, he thought. There was another mass shooting. At least 24 people were killed, said the elderly woman sitting in the armchair. He stepped into the kitchen and began quietly making a sandwich. Here's the steeple, he thought. A gunman entered the church and shot the parishioners, she continued. The elderly gentleman next to her sat in a matching high-back armchair. His prayerful hands were tucked under his chin as he considered the news. Open the doors, he thought. The police say he just rushed in and opened fire, said the elderly man. And see all the people, he whispered. He placed the knife on the paper towel on the counter. He closed the lids on the jar of peanut butter and the jar of preserves, and then stood in silence. Then he reached behind him with both hands and adjusted his belt. She rose from her chair and walked into the kitchen to finish washing her russet potatoes in the colander in the sink. What town is it? She asked. He smelled the roasting carrots and onions, brushed with olive oil and spices in the oven, and felt the heat of it upon his back. She turned and looked up at him, her eyes cloud-cast with cataracts, and she smiled. You are so loved, she whispered. I love you too, he whispered. Carefully, he pulled a shirt over his belt, behind his back, and hugged her. She softened, sighed, and slumped into his arms. After a moment, she said, You're going to be okay. We can take care of things for now, and then you can look for work again. Soon. He listened with his head just over her shoulder, gently pressing his cheek against her hair. He stroked the spot above her ear, where she usually wore her hearing aid, and smelled her perfume. We'll go see the doctor. Find something for you that works so that all of that goes away. He looked to the kitchen counter and saw her weekly pill boxes. They were nearly empty now. I don't know, said the elderly man in the chair. They finished their hug, and he turned, stepped back out of the kitchen, opened the front door, and walked down the driveway to his car parked in the street. The front storm door closed slowly and silently behind him. We're going to figure out a way to get him well, she said. Her husband nodded his head and turned back to the news. She walked back into the family room and took her seat next to him, looked to him, and then returned to the news. He sat in the driver's seat and reflected. He could kill them now, drive off. He could come back later. Or maybe he would let them live. Maybe he could live here for a while. He adjusted the weapon in his belt behind him. It was a small town, and it was the first time they'd met. Nice people.